We are live at Katie O'Byrne's for Flock University. Class is in session, my friends, right here in beautiful Schenectady. Everybody enjoying some great food, having some fun. The guys are eating their dinner right now, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to the head coach, the general manager of your still undefeated Albany Firebirds, Damon Ware, everybody. This is that moment some people realize that this is a show and it's a little louder than they thought it was going to be today. Sorry about that. We'll do our best to keep it down, and that won't work, but we'll try. Coach, man, first of all, congratulations, yet another win. You topped the Minnesota Monsters 50-23. They had a lot to say before the game. Did they say anything after the game?
No, actually didn't see a whole lot of anybody. Tried to, have a couple conversations, but I guess they were upset at the win or, whatever it was. But I did want to have a couple of conversations about, just how things go and how things should go. But no, it was a good win. First games are always tough, especially when you don't have film of the other team. You're relying on a lot of just basic information. But ultimately, again, they've got some good players, some veteran players. So we knew it'd be at least tough early on. It was tough. They kept it close. But ultimately we were able to pull out 4 quarters and play hard and do what we always do, which is play 4 quarters and come out with the win.
That you said hard fought. It was a bit of it felt like a slower start for us, or maybe they were in it. I've seen you go against other teams in the past where everybody's got that first 15 scripted kind of thing, and you seem to have a couple extra scripts as we get into the second half. Was that a situation of they really brought it, or some early hiccups for us? What was the reason that it wasn't a blowout from the rip like I thought it was going to be?
I mean, again, in first games, it's all you're trying to do is be execution based. You're trying to execute, the plays that you put in. There's a very small set of plays that you have in for the first game. At that point, you're just trying to execute football. And, we want to come out and execute football. Obviously our game plan had changed a little bit with Sam headed off to the UFL and Josh stepping in. So, we knew we were going to have a little bit of growing pains as far as the beginning of the game. But once Josh was able to settle down, he did a phenomenal job in the second half and ultimately threw 5 touchdowns. So we're real proud of him.
You mentioned Josh Kulka, the reigning MVP of the AF1 right now, week 1 MVP right here. Our guy. That's very excited for him. What did you see from Josh you expected? What did you see from him you didn't expect?
Well, again, he had won the number 2 job for a reason. Battled it out with Robert McCoy, our backup from last year, who, threw 15 touchdowns for us. And he won the job fair and square. So we knew what we had. It wasn't like we didn't know what we had. I do take some offense when people, like I said, Sam, he gets finally gets his opportunity to get, to the UFL and get into some actual practices. And, you see all over online and people like, oh my God, like we just became crappy overnight because of one player. And I don't know how many times I have to say this, but there's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on the team that we couldn't lose and find other people. That's why I do as much recruiting as I do. It's why I keep, recruiting all throughout the year. You've got to be ready for these things. This level of football, this isn't like NFL where we're signing, 6-year, $300 million contracts. These are 1-year deals. And so a lot of things are going to happen. There's injuries that happen. There's guys getting called up happens. There's, there's guys that aren't able to make the cut that happens. So there's always going to be those moving parts that happens. But, like I said, I did take a little bit of offense. People acted like all of a sudden we weren't going to be as good as we were. And that's just untrue. We have a phenomenal football team. We have a great coaching staff. We're going to get whoever's in front of us, we're going to get them ready to play a game. As we saw Josh just get more comfortable in the game, this is a rookie. So like I said, at the end of the day, we have, a rookie that threw 5 touchdowns and we scored 50 points. That's pretty good for a first game. Like I said, I think everybody, because we're undefeated, thinks that every game's going to be perfection. There's going to always be those games where we've got to toughen some things out. We've got to make some adjustments. We've got to do some things that are unfamiliar to us. So, at the end of the day, we're going to be Albany. And, like I said, we're still at the top of the mountain until somebody takes us off of it. And hopefully everybody respects that.
Yeah, I see a lot of people calling the Culkster, Culkamania. Was it Bill Parcells who said you never want a superstar quarterback? Are you how many superstar quarterbacks are you going to have before you say something similar?
It doesn't matter to me. Like I said, every quarterback that we have becomes a superstar, and that's a testament of itself. So whoever comes through the door, whoever takes snap under center for us, I hope they're all superstars.
Obviously what Kulka was able to do out there, was there anything he did better than you thought he was going to do after you saw him in practice and everything?
I don't think there's ever a better or worse. It's, again, there was a game plan that needed to be executed, and he was able to execute it. So I'm very proud of that. Him and I talk every day quite a bit, just making sure that he understands the elements of the game. He's still a rookie. And that's the thing is we got to curb the appetite. Everybody wants, us to score 100 points every night, and it's just not possible. And but we're really happy. We're right where we think we should be going into game number 2. We're executing some good football. We're refining some things. We're getting better every day, and that's what it's all about.
This is my favorite comment so far, Sandy. Kulka has a good arm. I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
Fair too.
I like it. I like what you had to say there. All right. So let's talk about the Monsters just a little bit, because this is a team that they 2 years ago, they won a 7-on-7 league. Last year, they won an 8-on-8 league. They come up here. What did you see like a little bit of a championship pedigree in them, at least in the way they were approaching the game?
They got some good players. So anytime you have the Jimmies and the Joes, you can be effective. So, like I said, they've got to learn a new game. It's to be expected. You come from playing 2 different rule sets the last 2 years, but being champion. So, obviously you're doing something right. And like I said, it's only fitting that the 2 champions face us right off the bat coming into the league. You got to face us and get an idea of what the champion of our league looks like. So real happy with how our schedule turned out. Thankful for the league for setting us up the way that we wanted. We wanted both Minnesota and Beaumont 1 and 2 our first 2 games, and we got that. So off to Beaumont we go.
Before you leave for Beaumont, we all know you spend a lot of time with your beautiful wife, and Nani says, "Hello, Flockers." So I have to be nice. I think a peace accord was brokered after the game between Nani and I. I brought my daughter in, and that made her go, "Okay, maybe you're not that bad of a person."
She definitely said, you have some good stock.
The apple fell and rolled. It fell and rolled. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
All right, you mentioned it. So we go, before we talk about who you're playing next, let's talk about the roster itself. Any changes we're going to see? I mean, your 21 was strong as all get out, and, the tough decision deciding the 3 to 4 who aren't going to suit up for the game. How's the roster look before we head to Beaumont?
Yeah, there'll be 2 small changes, obviously, to the roster going into Beaumont. Bringing in C.J. Clark, defensive lineman that played at NC State and University of Miami.
Nice.
He will be on the roster this week. And we also brought back Jordan Whitley. He was a defensive back that was with us in training camp. Did a phenomenal job. He was really the last cut that we made. And with some injuries, obviously a little banged up in the secondary, we brought him right back, and he's super excited to be back. And those are the stories I love is, stay ready. You don't got to get ready, leave here with a great idea of what you are and who you are, have that great character. And those are guys that we bring back. So it's another good story early on this year, bringing Jordan back and joining the roster.
I love that. You have a great relationship with the guys who have played for you. I know that there's certain guys that call you every day. Has anybody called you? Like, I know, I'm going to say it. I have to look over your shoulder. I saw Sean Brown on the phone. I know Sean is retired, but like, does Sean every once in a while be like, Coach, give me like 3 weeks. Does he still have the itch at all?
No, I knew at the end of it when he was done because just the peace in his face. And like I said, Sean had been with me since 2017, and I could just tell the way he said it. He said, "Hey, I'm done," and he was at peace with that. And so he's loving being retired, still in the football game, working in IL deals and things for college players. So doing a great job with that. So he's at peace. And but again, nothing's changed. Him and I still talk just about every single day, and he steadily contacts players, from the team and make sure they understand the things that I expect. And like I said, he's just always been a phenomenal player for us, and very loyal to myself. And so still enjoy our talks every time we get them.
I love that. Again, he even smiled when he saw me, so I know he's in a good place. We are live here at Katie O'Byrne's. It's Flock University. The professor, Damon Ware, is holding class as he does. Let's talk about the Beaumont Renegades. It's champion versus champion for week 1 for us, and now it's champion versus champion week 2 for us, but we're on the road this time, headed down to Beaumont. Anything you can tell us about this team that we need to keep an eye on when we're watching the game?
Like I said, not that it means anything, but there's always a pecking order that you kind of look at from a coaching staff. Is where is the league at as far as your kind of power rankings that you kind of feel in your within your staff. And so we definitely had Beaumont in the top 5. So that goes to say a lot about their personnel and coaching staff and those kind of things. So we definitely thought they'd be a good football team. Big loss for them, losing Oceanside in week number 1 on the road. And again, just, being execution based and being, like I said, first games are tough because especially when there's not a lot of film you get to watch, you don't get to do a whole lot in preparation. So big loss for them. But I think even a bigger loss, obviously, their quarterback went down right at the end of the game. And so, again, I don't know, like I said, I have no knowledge of what's happened with him or how that injury is, but it did look bad. And so, just wishing him speedy recovery. We want to play every team at their best, and if he's not able to play against us, then that would be disappointing. But the show must go on, as we say. We'll head down to Houston on Friday. Get ready for a tough team. Again, there's a lot of veteran players, guys that have been there and done that. So you always got to be worried about those kind of things. But like I said, it's just one of those things. I love being on the road. We spend a great deal of time, in the airport together, riding down to the airport together, eating together, being in the hotel together, then waking up and doing it all over again, eating together again, and then going to the stadium. And it's you against the world. And I love that feeling, but it's really good for camaraderie. Just having that closeness, you get to know a little bit more about the people around you. You get to spend a little bit more time. For me, it's huge. I get a little more rest. It sounds crazy. I get to go on a road trip and I get a little more rest, but I really do. It's, just the bus ride down, to get on the plane. I get a little bit of a breather. I'll still do some work, but I'll be able to just kind of be relaxed. I'll get to stay in bed a little bit on game day. That's always my routine, is just to stay in bed as long as I can. I'm used to getting up at 4:00 and, right now I'm dead tired, but, so I look forward to all those things. So being on the road, the camaraderie, us against the world kind of a mentality, and then getting a little rest, while I'm on the road. So all those things make it really, really fun.
Absolutely. And I do like, everybody asks me if I'm going on the trip. I'm like, not this one. I always try to make it to at least one with you because it's a great thing and you get to really know everybody involved, and I can be there for you when you need me, kind of deal, in the rare chances you do. So we have the Firebirds Media Network. That's what we're doing now. And we have a sponsor for the show. And I see Coach Ray keeps saying hi. I think he was trying to remind me that you have to plug him and what he does.
Yes, RNC Dealer Services, proud sponsor of Firebirds Media Network. If you have used car needs, he is the person to call. If you have car warranty needs, he's also the person to call. He's can get just about anyone financed on a vehicle. Like I said, if you've got the basics in place. So if you need a used car or you need auto warranty, RNC Dealer Services is the place to call.
Do you think you can get Ben approved? I don't think so. That might be the
way Ben drives. I've seen Ben drive.
He's true.
He is a lead foot.
Ben doesn't drive. Ben qualifies.
Right.
Like when we both
NASCAR Benny.
There was a point where our main office, both of us, actually all three of us, at one point was over at Belfour Property Restoration, and my desk was in front of the window, right where he parked. I would make it a point to not be at my desk when Ben pulled in, because
waiting for him to come through that window.
Yeah, like He's moved. I don't know what happened to my hubcap. You probably lost it to an 85 around a corner. Like it's like.
Hey, I was sitting in my car when he pulled up one day, and I was like, it was like a missile came next to me. I'm like, dude, you're parking. Like you don't need to go 75.
Right.
But hey, he didn't hit me. That's all that matters.
Mentioning, one of the reasons I mentioned the Firebirds Media Network is the Nest, which our friends Chris and Adam do. They've got a couple really good shows they've done lately. They talked to Josh Kulker live over at Dutch's Place on Monday. And now Adam thinks he can tell me how to do the show. Remind people there's a watch party at Hooters Saturday. I'll get to it, Adam. I have a plan for the show, okay? This ain't the Nest, okay? This is Flock University, all right? Jeez. I wonder why he doesn't like me. It's crazy. But we are going to, so obviously the guys are going to be in Beaumont, coach is going to be in Beaumont, but we will have a watch party for you over at Hooters on Wolf Road this Saturday. But right now we're live at Katie O'Byrne's where the guys are eating phenomenal food. I think one of the reasons the Flock is so quiet is they're all eating phenomenal food. I see a lot of Rubens working. Tommy Gross beat me here by a good hour today. For anybody who was curious, I think Tommy actually opened the doors this morning and had to put down stools. I think it was. How were you here first thing? No. Oh, the Lisas and Sue Beach. All right. Wow, they're going for your title, Tommy. That's it. All right, so headed to Beaumont, getting ready for that. Like, what that team? I know you're friends with some of the coaches, or your friend Lee with some of the coaches and stuff. For us watching, what is if you were coaching against you? What would you have them do, and without giving out too many details, and doing their job for them?
That would be telling them how to beat me. I'm definitely not going to answer that question. I'll tell you what I'll do.
All right, what will you do against Beaumont?
No, for us, it's just execute good football. It's second game. We just want to build on Josh's performance. Again, get more familiar with the offense, with the personnel that we have. We'll add in a few wrinkles, obviously, for the game. But, for us right now, it's just, execution based. So we want to be great in our execution. We want to keep things very simple. And we just want to grow. Like I said, we just want to get, 1% better every single day.
A lot of people are asking questions. This is not a Vice game this week. It's Saturday at 4:00, and you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on the Home Team Network app. Both of those are free. The HTN, our broadcast partner, took down the paywall for us. I think they have a low rate that they charge people normally. They took it down for us so that you guys could enjoy AF1 football wherever you are, whatever you are. The watch party will be at Hooters. I'm hoping that I'm doing a show appropriate enough for Adam and Chris now. I hope they're okay with the show. That's what I was worried. I can't help myself. Coach, I know that you're super busy right now, but reflecting on year one in the AF1 last year to year two, what's your day like? Has it gotten better, worse, easier, harder? Where are you at?
Busy. That's all I can say. Busy. It's there's always something, but I love what I do. So I don't care if I got to work 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. It doesn't matter. Like I said, at the end of the day, for us is how do you spell fun? It's WIN, and that's all I want to do right now. Just keep winning ball games, keep elevating young men, keep finding those life-changing opportunities for these young men, and just keep developing kids, building value. And we're doing a great deal of that here, and it's just been a fun time.
I love it, Coach Ware. With the guys that are here now, Brandon Cisse, we talked about some of the coaching staff already. I'm not naming them all, but what growth have you seen from them now that we're through another game? Because I got to tell you, Cisse looked downright just composed. I didn't see him, I thought there was some chippy action on the field. I thought in the past that would have been Cisse yelling at our guys to get off the field. I felt like Cisse is taking that next step towards, regal coachness.
No, he's doing a great job. And it's not just with the Firebirds. He's, with me at Hudson Valley. He's come a long way, and I put a great deal of pressure on these young coaches. Like, we work harder than probably anybody out in the country. We work a ton, and it's all about development. That's really my role. The first step is always getting our coaches to build their growth and build value, and then obviously once we've figured out our plan from the coaching aspect is passing that on to the players. So we've worked incredibly hard this offseason, and again, Coach Cisse has just done a phenomenal job. I think we'll probably spend several years together and do great things together. And you always want that good pair of two guys that are loyal to each other and want to work hard. He absolutely loves the game like I do. And again, that's all he wants to do. He just wants to coach football. And that's all I want to do. I just want to coach football. So we fit very well. Two puzzle pieces that fit together great. Just all the time that we've spent together from here to the college has just been a wonderful experience. And he's just going to get better and better as each game goes by.
Special Delivery Mike made a point. He said Coach Cisse made great adjustments at halftime. When you've got a smaller roster, how difficult is it to make offensive and defensive and make all the adjustments at once on halftime? Is it more difficult or less?
No, it's really not difficult. You just have to be focused. And that's something, we go over every game as what our coaches' responsibilities are on game day. When all your staff is working great and you're doing all the little things, it's real easy to make those adjustments. There's plenty of data. There's plenty of things, obviously, that you can go in, you can discuss, very implicitly and make those things happen on the field. So for us, it's we want to have those immediate reactions. Again, we spend a great deal of time getting ready for these game plans. So in these moments, guys know what it is that we're trying to do. And it's not hard to get these. We bring in such great kids with great character. It's not hard to motivate them. So, but again, that's the name of the game, really. It's putting in a good game plan, and it's how well you can adjust to things that weren't in your game plan or surprises to the game plan. And, like I said, all of us are working so hard. We love the feeling of winning. I make that line all the time. How do you spell fun? W-I-N. And that's what we want to stick with. That's the standard. And, we talk about that daily. Standard over everything. And so when you live, that standard and you just keep pushing that standard forward further and further and further, it takes a great deal of work and a great deal of love of this game to keep that standard as high as we do. So just great job. Again, love what our coaches are doing. We're working hard. We're all tired. We're all exhausted. And like I said, fortunately for us, we get a couple of road games. And as crazy as that sounds, it is a little bit more relaxing.
It's definitely more relaxing for me. Special Delivery Mike, this is not me. I didn't ask this, but I think it speaks to the flock. He wants to know why you didn't run the score up more on them when you had a chance. I think it's called good sportsmanship and getting out of there with as few injuries as possible, right? Isn't it?
Even some of my team where they were so surprised when we took a knee. There was a lot of challenges in the game. There was some chippiness in the game. There were some parts I didn't really care for in the game. But ultimately, like I said, I was asked in a roundabout kind of way, would I not continue to attack and do what I would normally do? And in the moment, it just felt like the right thing. Not that I'm easily told what to do, but at the end of the day,
way to put it. I like it.
It was the right thing to do. It was professional. It was, like I said, and we were in a spot where it was a good place to stop. There was no injuries, so it was just a good place to stop. And so we went ahead and did it.
I've had a lot of people. Are there any future repercussions from the penalties and the ejections from this game?
No, those are just in-game penalties. Like I said, it was a weird deal. I'll leave it at that. There was some oddities that happened in the course of the game that just something that usually you just don't experience. So I know the league will take a look at all those things and they'll figure out the best appropriate action to make things better. That's one thing I love about the AF1 is everything that happens, we're always quick to talk about it, to better these things, to make the brand better. And that's what it's all about. As our league continues to grow and better, we're just going to get better and better. It's this league is going to take off to great heights. Vice Sports did a great job. HTN's doing a great job. Those AI cameras, I was able to watch some of the broadcasts on Sunday, and they were very, very well And then I was told like, the AI cameras actually grow and learn as they go. And I was like, that just sounds incredible. That's way above my, thought process. I don't know about all the AI and all that. But, when they were telling me just how the AI actually gets smarter every game, I was like, that is incredible. And there was a lot of good camera views. There was a lot of good things. It was very clear, very nice. So I can't wait to see what the finished product is, later in the season on how well these AI cameras work.
Yeah, and that is so. Like I was in meetings early, and one of the major concerns, because the cameras are trained to follow the action, they were worried about the high motion because they were afraid it would, for like the first game or two, it might trick the camera. But that's why we have directors that are backing up the cameras. And yeah, they learn the more the cameras are part of arena football, the more they learn how it works. And then all of a sudden there's gonna be a point where I'm gonna make it. We're not paying the directors anymore. Like that's all there is to it, because they're not going to be needed. But yeah, it's very sick. I see a lot of people talking about I guess there's a delay to the Jumbotron right now. All these things are being worked out. We will continue to work on it. I hear you. I see it. It's a triple McGee. I saw you said it 16 times. I promise I will work on that. I will ask the people that do the cameras how to get that even closer. We're working. We're growing. A lot of people would like to hear Andrew Santillo and Tom Gazlowski as the vice guys. I can tell you this much: there are local guys. They're still doing our home games that aren't on Vice. Will be Santillo and Gaz. I think he's found a key to my house. I can't get rid of him, so he
can't leave. He's got 10 kids.
Yeah,
you're stuck, buddy.
3 and counting. There's a lot. I see a lot of weird questions about the AI cameras. This is more a coach's show, but I will tell you that the AI cameras, the only place that they weren't installed at as of right now was Oceanside. That will be fixed. There's just Albany is the crown jewel of arena football, so they made sure that we were set first, and they made sure we were set best. And I also think that we already had a very high standard of broadcast. So it wasn't really about us, but let's go. Oh, Mike, special delivery. Mike wants Father Flocker in the booth. I think only if Steve and Denise are on the call. I think one game. Oh, we should do the Flocker cast. Like if you go to a certain YouTube channel, it's Father and Mother Flocker doing the broadcast. I think I'm here for that. Would you go back and watch that the next day?
I would definitely watch that the next day.
All right, we got a lot. I guess it's time for questions from the flock. If anybody in the house here at Katie O'Burns is done chewing and is not going to spit food on me, Tom, you can ask a question. Or we're here for you. We want to help. I see one of Lisa's shuffling. No, not coming. There's a lot of stuff on here. A lot of people saying hi to each other. It's very interesting. Just a lot of questions about the cameras. People want to know about this isn't Greg. This isn't. I can't. I'm not. He wants me to get the DJ to cut the music when the ref's talking. Can you send me an email? Thank you. All right. Hi, welcome to Flock University, where we talk about the Firebirds. Do you know what?
And DJs.
Right. I'll do my best. It's so crazy. All right. Any questions in here? And then Adam said he's actively working on Meet the Flockers. When is that? Steve, when is Meet the Flockers? When do we get to see it? Soon? I don't believe them.
It's gonna be funny.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them at all.
I don't think Denise will do it.
No, she's sweating right now, just joking about it.
I don't think she'll do it.
I guarantee you, she is at a full sweat right now, just thinking about it. Again, we're live here at Katie O'Burns. Coach, I think we covered everything. I think we did it. Listen. I think this is one of those classes where the teachers, dismiss everybody early to go get drunk. Eat at Katie O'Burns. I think we're there.
I think we are there.
I got a super dirty look from Mike Corden when he walked in, so I'm not going to mess with him too much today. But he is here. Yeah. His family's here supporting as always.
Yeah, I'd leave that one alone tonight.
Who is number 44 on the main roster, Coach? That's what I just got. It's
number 44, Shahan Williams.
Shahan Williams. That's a big dude. That's a big dude. Prince is here. Speaking of big dudes, there he is. How you doing, sir? He actually shook my hand from outside, everyone. He was outside. Knee balls.
How you doing?
There we go.
What's
the guys are in the
sir?
house. Come say hi to the birds. They're eating dinner. at KDO Burns.
What's going on, CJ?
How you doing? What's up, C? Welcome, CJ. How you doing, man? I only know him because I just did his intake paperwork. Scott Townsend wants to know who QB2 is. Is it me?
You know, there's some moving parts. I mean, I could, but there's some moving parts. I'm not in a rush, and I'm not the kind of coach just to bring somebody in just to bring them in. There's a lot going on. We still have, yet to see, how everything works out with Sam and the UFL. Obviously, our hope is that, he gets into a game and impresses and they keep him. But there's some things that I want to just wait for before I bring somebody in just to kind of be a lame duck. Again, I'm just not that kind of person. I want to only bring people here that I know will be here and be a part of this thing. And so right now, like I said, I want to spend all of my time with Josh. I want to make him the best quarterback that he can be. And we're going to stick with just Josh for right now.
If at some point in the season, Sam heads this way, is it an open battle at that point? Does it depend where Josh is in his development, or is that something? Is that a caviar problem that we hope to have one day?
That's something I won't think about until it happens.
You said it, and then I knew somebody was going to ask. So
sure,
but that's a caviar problem and a half. To have the reigning Week 1 MVP and the reigning MVP.
Right.
That'd be kind of fun to watch happen. All right, if we're good with questions here live at KDO Burns, I think it's time that we get a pint and celebrate the evening. And we
sounds like a plan.
And get ready for your next road trip. I mean, I don't know. Some people are asking me like the rules for rookies on road trips. Don't screw up. Don't be on time, and everything will be fine. Is that right?
Be in bed by midnight, off your feet. Yeah, some basic stuff.
All right, I love it. All right, everybody, please, how about a round of applause for our friends here at KDO Burns? Can't have Flock University without the Flock. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Be loud. Let the guys here at the Firebirds are here. He is the head coach, the general manager. I would say the dean of Flock University. Your undefeated Albany Firebird head coach is Damon Ware, everybody. I am the manager of all the other stuff. My name is Jeff Levack. I didn't hear any
I just
boos.
love that name. That's the best name I think I've ever heard.
I think, you know what I've noticed, though? It's become an excuse for some people to give me work. I will say that. I might
be careful.
Yeah, I gotta
be careful.
Gotta be quicker than that. All right, everybody, we cannot end this class without those two. Oh, hold on a second, just so you know. Nani said, "Come on, honey." I don't think you're allowed to hang out with me anymore. Nani, I'll be good. I promise. We cannot end this class without those two simple words. 1, 2, 3. Flock you.